Hi, so today the topic we'll be covering is whole numbers, which is section 2.2. So, whole numbers are numbers that we use for counting. Some examples of whole numbers are 7, 25, 100, and 1,253. The whole numbers can be represented by base 10 blocks, which give the visual representation, and there is different things we use to show the place value. So for the ones place, we use units. For the tens, we use rods. For 100s, we use flats. And for the thousands place, we use cubes. So some examples, we're gonna do this one first. There's 3 rods and 2 units. So 3 rods equals 30 and 2 units is 2. So 30 plus 2 would be 32. The next example has 1 flat, 3 rods, and 6 units. So 1 flat is 100, 3 rods is 30, and 6 units is 6. So 100 plus 30 plus 6 would be 136. The last example we're going to show is using 1 cube, 1 flat, 1 rod, and 1 unit. So 1 cube would be 1,000, 1 flat would be 100, 1 rod would be 10, and 1 unit would be 1. So 1,000 plus 100 plus 10 plus 1 would be 1,111. Next, we're going to go over the forms of whole numbers. So there's all different ways to express whole numbers. So the first form that we're going to talk about is verbal forms. So verbal forms, you use a number and you spell out the word. So you're using or spell out the number. So you're using words and not numbers to show the number. The next form is standard form, which is just writing a number in the most common way. So you would just write it out how you see it. The last form is expanded form, which is a way to write a number as a sum of its digits, showing the value for each. So now we're gonna jump into some examples. So verbal form examples, for the number 27, you would spell out 20 and 7. For the example 130, you would write out 130. And the last example, 1,150, you would spell out 1,150. So for verbal forms, you always just write out the number using words. The next form we're going to be discussing is standard form. So we're going to have some examples for this. So 27 in standard form is 27. And then 130 in standard form is shown like that. And then 1,150 is also shown like this. So when you hear standard form, you're always going to think the most simplest form, which would be as shown. The last form we're going to show is expanded form. So for the number 27, the expanded form would be 20 plus 7, because there's 7 units and 2 rods, so 20 plus 7. The next one is 130, so you would do 100 plus 30. And the last one is 1,150, so you would do 1,000 plus 100 plus 50. The next thing we're going to be discussing is stating place values. So there's a whole lot of place values. It starts in the ones and goes all the way up to the billions. And there's a picture to show all the different place values. So some examples of stating place values is for the number 17, 7 is underlined. So thinking back to the picture from before, the 7 is shown in the ones place. Then for the number 126, the 2 is underlined. So the 2 would be the tens place. The number 1,360 has the number 3 underlined. So the 3 would be the 100s place. Then the number 132,100. The 3 is underlined, so the 3 would be in the 10,000s place. Then the last number, 1,000,000, the 1 is underlined, so the 1 would be in the millions place.